It is a great privilege for me to introduce Mr. PK. We normally call him as Mr. PK, Mr. P. Kaniappan. May I request you to be on the stage, sir? He holds a degree in engineering from NIT, Karnataka, also an executive MBA from Great Lakes and also from Wharton School. He started his career with Sundaram Clayton Brakes Division in 1992, and he rose to various levels. In 1999, he moved to the Foundry Division as a business head, and in 2001, he became the operations head of the brakes business and later became president of the brakes division. And during his tenure as a head of supply chain in Sundaram Clayton, he transformed the supply chain function and played a key role in winning the coveted Deming Prize and Japan Quality Medal as first company in India. I think we should give a big hand for him. And currently he is the managing director of ZF. Sundaram Clayton became WAPCO, and I think everybody knows that. I need to mention specifically here that he is ranked amongst the top 100 and best CEOs in 2016 by Business Today. He was also recognized with Frost & Sullivan's IME Lifetime Achievement Award in 2018. And in this part of the country, I think all of us take his inputs, and we always visit his plant and try to absorb all the best practices. I think he is the right person to be on stage to give an insight to us. Over to you.
Good morning. First of all, I would like to thank ISQ for giving me this opportunity. Also, the morning session gave me a lot of insight. The quality of presentations, the quality of work that is happening in India, probably, in my view, will really take India to a much greater heights. For example, Mr. Krant Deshmukh was presenting on the next evolution of quality movement, problem solving, how we use artificial intelligence and machine learning to predict the probably quality outcomes. If we really practice those things, we will be able to create a zero defect environment. Maybe we'll be able to achieve zero defect even in the field. So similarly, the presentation by Mr. Nitish Roy, the way the data is being used, analyzed again to achieve the best of outcomes. Mr. Arvind Maira's presentation on the future of manufacturing also is a great insight. If you really look at it, the quality movement or the TQM movement in India over probably past 3 decades have taken Indian automotive industry, many other places probably, but at least the automotive industry to which I belong, has been a beneficiary of this quality movement, shared knowledge, cluster programs, etc. And many senseis initially from Japan and now in India itself, which actually is a great movement that has already taken the auto industry to one of the best competitive industry globally. But I see the opportunities are going to be much, much greater as we evolve into the digital and analytics world and apply these things in the right way. So personally, these presentations were excellent, highly enlightening for me. My presentation is essentially to share our own experience in the last, from 1987 to now, and of course, it's an evolving thing. As our chairman at the time, Mr. Venusrinivasan, said, the journey continues. The excellence is not end point, it keeps moving, so the targets are moving. So we have been, transforming our businesses in this way in the last 30 years or so. The ownership of the company changed, but our approach by me and my team have been to keep these basics that we learned in Sundaram Clayton from the TQM practices, and use it and leverage those things as a key element of our success as we moved into a global network. Of course, as you can see, today we are now focusing on digital or a smart factory or analytics, also ESG, of course, apart from business. I would try to give you some perspective of the journey itself. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to do justice within the 40 minutes, the 30 years of our journey, but still, we are open anytime any of you would like to connect with us, maybe through ISQ or through CII. Through CII, we will be willing to share what we are doing, because we would also like to learn from you as well. So the initial, the transformation started. Maybe can I have this one? Yeah. The initial transformation was actually based on an outcome. It's a wake-up call Sundaram Clayton had in 1987. Then Mr. Venu Srinivasan and the leadership at the time decided that we'll take the TQM path. And we went to many times to Japan to learn TQM in Japan. Many Japanese professors came. Many of the names that he spoke yesterday, of course, we worked with them. I was a part of the manufacturing and supply chain team. Initially, 10 years from 1982 to 92, I was in Hosur. Initially in the moped business, later it became a part of the motorcycle division. Then 1992, I moved to Chennai to join the operations in Chennai in Sundaram Clayton, brakes division. And it took, of course, till 2009, I was a part of that team. So during those times, of course, I was a member of the team that actually worked to secure the Deming price. Of course, my focus was initially on the Deming side and the supply chain evolution. Actually built the supply. We all worked, my team and myself, we worked to develop the supply chain which will be, which qualified to get the award. So Professor Yoji Akao came for the initial pre-audit. Professor Hitoshi Kume came for the final audit. So our role is to present some suppliers who can actually get through the audit. So, but then now I'll move into this. My initial focus is to tell you the key elements of the TQM. See, after leaving Sundaram Clayton, moving into WAPCO, Sundaram Clayton Brakes Division became WAPCO. WAPCO India became later in a part of ZF. So that is the evolution. But this basic thing remains. What we developed maybe in the early 90s. The temple of TQM, it remains. Only how we evolve in each pillar is changing, but otherwise fundamentally these things don't change. One of the profound knowledge or a framework or something that is differentiating the India team versus the global, our colleagues in the other part of the world is this one, the responsibility of people in the company. So it clearly defines the role of the operators. Are essentially, large part of the role is to retain, and small part they have to work to improve. The middle management, a large part of their job is to improve and do some time work on the breakthroughs. Of course, leadership is supposed to work on breakthroughs. This I always feel something that is differentiating in the TQM environment versus suppose a colleague in another part of the world in Europe. They will say, if you say go and improve, they'll say, is there in my job card? Or what should I do? Whereas in India, from the beginning, we are building that mindset. We always ask people why you did not improve. The leaders can always ask them, what did you do yesterday and what improvement you did today? That mindset is built over so many years, which actually is powering the growth and success of everything that we do, because a culture of a continuous improvement and everything that we do with the engagement of employees is the core of our company, which we continue. Whether we are as an Indian company or a global company, we continue. Of course, we had a pleasure of working with all the senseis. another fundamental element of a TQM company or our framework is a learning organization, because that's what TQM teaches us. Every day you learn new things and be humble and try to bring new things into the system. That's another reason why we were able to manage to succeed into a global network. While the global leadership could see certain very positive things in the DNA of our ecosystem of Sundaram Clayton team also looked at some good things in other global practices, and essentially we built, we actually developed a blend of Sundaram Clayton plus WAPCO framework and culture. Largely the operational excellence came from Sundaram Clayton, the business excellence model. We took inputs from our global framework. Of course, when we moved into WAPCO, we also had a lot of challenges. Maybe I'll also take a few minutes to explain to you. We also defined the framework, the building the capability of the organization. An operator in the shop floor, the first level operator, we essentially would like them to have the ability to see abnormalities and correct. The next level, you want them to do Kaizen, improvement. And third level, probably problem solving. Then fourth level, the rapid productivity improvement, further Six Sigma, etc. So you can see the whole framework. We also developed a Johari window, which actually defines what type of problem will be done by which type of people. Again, very simple framework, but clearly defines how do you address those problems. A most complicated problem, we cannot expect a shop floor supervisors to address through shop floor operators to address through a problem solving or a QC story, but then maybe a Six Sigma with a task force or a full-time type of framework. We always use the suggestion scheme as a mechanism to really, because the basic TQM philosophy was to really give, respect the brain power of employees, everybody. For example, here you can see the, some young trainees, these two girls, they are actually trainees. They are not having a permanent job in the company. But then the system recognizes them as someone who can contribute to the success in their own way. The chairman of WAPCO tries to understand what they have done. And he was not able to understand how come people who don't have a permanent job and that so the trainee is not paid very well, what motivates them to really give such very innovative ideas. Always, in fact, WAPCO decided that they will take this thing to other part of the world. Today, suggestion scheme is implemented in most part of our WAPCO plants in China, because they were so much amazed by the power of these people, however, whatever level they are, how they are able to join and participate in this great movement. And many of our young team, of course, in Sundaram Clayton days, we used to send them for international competitions through various forums. National level, even today, we ensure that all the people participate. What started as a shop floor practice, when we moved into WAPCO, then we also extended to white collar people, R&D engineers, everybody. So today it's all encompassing, everybody. It's not a shop floor, suggestion scheme is not a shop floor practice, it's a all encompassing, all plants in India. As I said, it also has gone to some of the other part of the world. Of course, we all know QC Circle is a great framework because it actually motivates people to come together. Today we are in ZF, global network. We are always trying to come out with some new philosophies, ZF way, in which we say collaboration is the key. But then, which was built in the system. In India, for example, this is a part of our life. People joining together, breaking all the silos, which is very difficult in a very complex global network organization. ZF is a 40 billion euro company. In that breaking the paradigm of, because but ZF says you beat the silos, but we don't know how, at the leadership level. But this system fundamentally builds that that winning together mindset, which is what everybody is trying to do. So success in the leadership, success in a big company is largely driven. If you are able to create that winning mindset, you won the game. Of course, as I said, many complex problems. Actually, we developed a new business in India, in a connected business, more through a cross-functional approach. Today, one of our Indian commercial vehicle OEMs, the entire connected solution is provided by us. We do the back-end work, including soon we will be launching the over-the-air update. But then that is developed in India with a startup ecosystem and with the customer, and then with our own colleagues in different functions. What started as a, can India develop, from that mindset few years ago, because WAPCO at the time globally had acquired a company. But in India, that solutions were not applicable because they are a very expensive solution, maybe 50,000 rupees per vehicle. In India, the customers wanted something in 5,000 rupees. How do we develop? So the solution was bringing people together, startup, customer, all put together, because you may sometimes extend the CFT or a cross-functional or engagement with the customers also. We in 2020, from 2020 April, August onwards, all the vehicles are fitted with our system. Okay, we started with 5,000 rupees target, maybe we are slightly more now, but that is the power of this one. So a business is developed. One of my colleagues who is here, who is actually leading that business, today we are expecting this year about 10 million euro type of revenue. It's more like it's a service business. We have a subscription. 110,000 vehicles are connected to our platform, which we see a possibility to expand multifold. So that's the power of people coming together and then building the business. Sorry. Can you go to the previous one? Yeah, actually again, it's the global CEO of the chairman of WAPCO was there. It's something that WAPCO also nurtured this, because WAPCO saw the finer or the great capability that was built by Sundaram Clayton, and they thought how to unleash this and become a facilitator or a supporter of all these things, which again is one aspect, one learning for me. These things, if it has to grow, succeed, the leadership has to nurture. They have to at least spend some time and then understand what is happening and provide whatever support the team needs. Yeah, of course, we went through many difficulties. It's not that when you move from an Indian company to a global network, it's not that easy. But the opportunities is not a single man problem. It's a team, collective team. We were, of course, here. Yeah, actually, in 2012. We are in the commercial vehicle space, for some of you may not know. We are the braking solution provider for the commercial vehicles. Initially, in Sundaram Clayton days, it's mechanical systems. With WAPCO, we got ABS. Now we are moving into electronic braking, including autonomous emergency braking. So that is our space. So in 2009, when we moved into WAPCO, and 2012 onwards, Indian commercial vehicle more or less moved into a globalization with the entry of companies like Daimler. Well, we were so successful in India with all our products, but then Daimler said, you are not okay. Your quality is not okay. Your products standards are not okay. So, it was a little difficult for us to accept. We always believed that we've got a Deming Prize, so we must be good. But in reality, it is not so. Customers evaluate you. So Daimler said, no, this is not okay. They even complained to the global leadership, your Indian team is not okay. So it was, of course, a reflection and a moment of review. We, of course, it's a big story. But what I would like to tell is, because it's a teamwork, we realize that we have become too complacent in our approach. What is successful continuously in India, because we are a market leader. If you know Sundaram Clayton or WAPCO or ZF, in our space we have been a market leader for over 50 years, continuing to be. So you tend to believe then you must be good. It is not you are wrong, customer may be wrong. Because we are successful so long in India, but the customer view was different. So we had to go through a major reflection and a transformation. But it was extremely easy, or not, I wouldn't say easy, it is possible, because again you have got an aligned and common mindset. TQM helps us to have a common mindset, aligned mindset. Policy deployment itself is that is a framework. We went through a reflection, took 1 or 2 years, then once again back to meeting and surpassing the customer expectations. TQC convention or a TA convention is some framework which we used to do it in our Sundaram Clayton or TVS days. We are doing it, we're continuing in a different format. Now, of course, the global chairman himself addresses the people. He used to address the time. Now, of course, in the last 2 years, we are a part of ZF. We're now evolving as with another new ecosystem. So again, an annual PDCA. It's essentially an annual PDCA where people come and really present the best of what they've done and what they want to do and what type of challenges they have, etc. Now I would like to take some aspects. Of course, many of you may know the core of a retirement and Kaizen is the daily routine management. Deploying in the company at every level is very key. And in my view, the first line operator's role is to produce every part, receive a good part, produce a good part, deliver a good part, every tact. Then you go to production supervisors every hour. Then the maybe value stream manager every shift, the site leader every day. You define the framework. As long as this is work and you are able to resolve the problem at that level, it doesn't move up. The leaders will look at some other strategic topics. This is a fundamental. So again, we learned in Sundaram Clayton days. Even now, it is very relevant. Most recently, we were certified by Daimler for the Q Prime certificate. In that, they call it another way, shop floor management. Again, the robust daily routine management is the key, even for policy to work or any other framework to work. When this is not there, it's like building building without a foundation. And of course, you need to have others may call a different way, but we worked with Professor Vasu and Suda. So the model is managing point checkpoints. And of course, the key point is it's not a deployment of the target. It is actually at every level what bright ideas are generated. For example, if a head of factory has to achieve certain targets, it doesn't take, just as a target. The whole issue is how it should be done, what type of bright ideas can be brought into is a key element. And what WAPCO did, what was managing point and checkpoint, has become today in a global WAPCO framework. They found this is one of the best way of making people accountable. So WAPCO changed it as accountability and super accountability. Super accountability is equal to checkpoint. Accountability is the leader's, the first level person. And exactly the same framework. So this is, I believe, some of these are our contribution to a global organization. Yeah, just an example. Okay, policy management, many of us know, it's just taking the company to a common aligned goal. This is exactly example, visualization Professor Suda gave us. I'm not spending much time here. This itself is a complete, this is a goal deployment exercise. Many of our people, our youngster, the loyal, you have to deploy the things to a level that each production supervisor has my objective card. So again, it gets very well deployed, what the 3 objectives in the company. Of course, the framework is you again, the off-site meetings bring people together. You have a catch-ball sessions and try and really arrive at a common aligned goal and deployment framework. Okay, this is the basic Sundaram Clayton experience that we had. Now I would like to take you to the transformation into a global framework. Actually, SCL created a great capability in the organization, but at the time our main strength was cost. We are a very cost leader in India. WAPCO found a company which makes a compressor, a 160cc compressor at $50. Nowhere in the world it is possible, maybe it will take 2 times. Not only that, they make 48% contribution margin. Very amazing for them at the time. And we, 10 years, we were supplying those compressors to our customers. 10 years, even though there was an inflation in the market, we were continuously improving the productivity to offset the inflation. In a way, we didn't go to the customers for any inflation. This is the basic strength of that organization at the time. So WAPCO then brought advanced technologies because Sundaram Clayton had its technologies, but by 2012, as I said, global companies came into India. We had to upgrade all our technologies, products, also bring certain global products to India, again offer as a total solution to the customer at a price point the market will accept. The third aspect is this raising to global standards. So this was, by 2014, we have more or less reached this point. We became a preferred supplier of choice for all Indian commercial OEMs. And the transformation was from 2009 to 2014. It was a very difficult period, meaning all the team in my team had to really go through that this transition. Particularly raising to global standard was very difficult. First of all, you don't know. So we actually brought some global colleagues to India. 1 or 2 years they were required to be staying here, guiding the people how to really understand and then rise. It's easy to rise, but then you should know what to do. This is the transformation I said, because we went for a organizational transformation. We upgraded our products, we upgraded our processes. A lot of new leaders we brought into the system exercise. This is a major transformation exercise we did. Manufacturing itself, I will talk to 1 or 2 areas, like manufacturing, how we transformed, and the product engineering. Within TVS, we formed a cluster group, a cross-learning. And using that, of course, we also worked with the Lean Enterprise Institute. They guided us. So we created our own framework of Lean. And today, manufacturing engineering is one of our key differentiator because we design our systems, manufacture our own lines, all those things, internal capabilities, to the extent that today we export assembly lines to our test rigs to other WAPCO facilities at a much lower cost than what it would cost them to make. Again, Lean, one of the fundamentals of Lean in my view is reducing the investment. So we actually focus using TPM and all those things. We try to make sure that we are using extending the life of the vehicle. Not only extend, you also put all the IoT and all those things to those facilities and make it as though today you get a very new machine at a very much fraction of the cost that would cost to buy a new machine. Yeah, this is what I said. We make as assembly lines or test rigs for other global requirements now from here. What it was, they insisted that we have to buy from other places. We moved into other way around now. Of course, many areas, some of the colleagues, they said the forklift, and actually Sundaram Clayton days itself, we decided we'll ban the forklift in the company. No, of course, CN, one of the topic for CN is he used to tell us eye level racks, no high level. So these things actually also helped us to really changed the way we manage the logistics within the company. Today, I would say we are one of the safest facilities globally for ZF in terms of KPIs. Because fundamentally, you avoid the need for a possibility for any accidents or any incident by certain fundamental, like if you don't have a forklift, if you don't have a high rack, you are largely eliminating that thing. There are many other things in this area we have done. Of course, now there are very good presentations made in the first session. We are also into that. A lot of youngsters we have deployed to drive the transformation in the company in the digital area, real-time monitoring of all the losses in the system and quick response. They don't have to wait for a 1 hour or production supervisor comes. It's a real-time alerts go to the people, predictive maintenance, remote diagnostics, etc. The other area I would like to quickly go through is engineering, product engineering. Product engineering, we started, of course, Sundaram Clayton had its own product development. We worked with Professor Vasio on the product development process, the concept of target costing, designing to cost, all those things we learned. Today India is a center of excellence for designing to cost, redesigning to cost, even for other global sites of ZF or in our space, commercial vehicle space. These are all some of the, India is known for its frugal innovation, and many of these products we design in India for global markets, and we have also evolved as a major manufacturing hub for WAPCO, now ZF. We were zero export in 2009 when we became WAPCO. Today we are exporting about 1,000 crore per year, and but huge opportunity. We have now recently acquired 45 acres land in Oragadam to build a new facility. Again, our focus is to make India as a manufacturing hub for many of the products for global requirements. Highly cost competitive. The best cost location for ZF, for WAPCO is India. Mostly in the mechanical space, because electronic dimension area, the supply chain is not robust here. Another visionary thing Mr. Venusrinivasan did was in Sundaram Clayton, acquired a land, 200 acres in Chennai, and created a test track. We invested on a test track. By 2001, it was there. This was the only test track that was available in India for certifying ABS, because this is facilitating bringing technology to India. And today it's a part of our ZF. And now we are building EBS test, ESC testing, etc., etc. A lot of investment we are planning. Engineering capability, it started as a more a bench in 2009-10 period. We started as some 100 engineers were there, more like a bench to the global people in WAPCO. But WAPCO saw it, India is a completely differentiating place to go and develop products. Today, I would say, most of the most complicated softwares are written in India. We have close to 800 people working in software development, digital engineering, etc. At a very many times lower cost than what it would cost to do it in Europe. Again, huge expansion opportunities in this area. Many companies are doing. We have also used that, seized that opportunity and then driving this area. With IoT, today it doesn't matter where you are testing a product. You can real-time monitor the condition, the results, etc. Anywhere from the world. This is what I would say. What I feel proud is something like this. What India used to be considered as a place where the technologies are not comparable. This is a set of WAPCO slide, not my slide. WAPCO said the DNA of product development in WAPCO is an Indian engineering brain, Indian brain, and a European brain. Europe, of course, is they are a different level in terms of advanced technologies. But India contributes in software, in frugal innovation, and the design to cost. And of course, this is still is a positioning that we are making even in ZF. So by now we have actually positioned ourselves somebody who can bring the customer and market oriented, because TQM per se puts you into a customer focused approach. So customer and market oriented cost optimized solutions to with agility and speed. That is the way we position ourselves, mainly focusing on, of course, efficiency. Efficiency is reducing fuel consumption in a vehicle. So that's one of the value we provide. Of course, safety, efficiency, and connectivity are the three space. That's the three value we provide to customers. Now with ZF acquired WAPCO globally in 2020. Then onwards, now we are creating another, raising the bar in terms of, we would like to be, of course, a partner of choice for all Indian OEMs with the fleets, center of excellence for export, many of the products, export products. And of course, we are also creating, the world is moving towards transport as a service or a software as a service. We are positioning ourselves as getting ready to play the role there. And ZF is in the commercial vehicle, ZF globally does about 7.5 billion euro sales, and number one supplier in the tier 1 supplier to global customers. India also, we are trying to position ourselves like that. Today we may be at a much lower level, but the opportunity is, WAPCO is only a braking system provider. ZF has everything in the commercial. It has got drive, entire EV portfolio, we have the thing. As I said, in the connectivity space, we are playing already a role in India. So we would like to, like ZF would like to become the leader in the next generation mobility, which is actually driven by, I am only talking about the commercial vehicle, which is driven by the autonomous, connected, electric. In India, we would like to provide the same, we would like to position same. So almost in terms of products, a lot of products are there. The blue is actually a WAPCO solution. I think the other one is light blue is a ZF solution. So together, it's the way we positioning is the perfect match to provide solutions to the customer. I said about autonomous driving. Even with the India capabilities, we actually demonstrated autonomous driving for a tractor with the Escort's participation in Delhi. Most of our own Indian engineers in the software, they did it. But then now the world is moving into, in the commercial vehicle space itself, electronic stability control is coming into regulation April 2023. We expect autonomous emergency braking will come from 2025-26 around the time, and most of the autonomous advanced driver assistance systems will also started coming. We are already partnering with many OEMs and working. So in this space we'll play. I already talked about connectivity, and of course electric mobility. We have started with our electric compressors. With most customers, we have started selling. So again, there is a vast space here, so we are trying to play a role there. Now coming to the last part of my presentation, essentially, driving the environment ESG ecosystem. Some work we are doing, and we have been, of course, working with the CAA also to support. But also, of course, continuously, see here, TQM puts us into a continuous improvement. So we actually work in every area to make sure that we would like to be ahead of the curve. So again, cost management, though we are today a cost leader, but in many areas we see a huge opportunity. And of course, some of the awards of our team won. This is a very important topic for ZF. We are now driving the ESG, environment, social, and governance space. It's a big topic, but all that I'm saying is now we are taking the same thing in India and trying to do. ZF has a target 2020-30. What should we do? And all our plants, now we are quickly moving into the scope 1, 2, 3 area. Scope 1 and 2, we are already initiated actions. And CSR, our work is largely driven in this 4 area: safety and community services, education or skill development, and environment productivity. Some of this work that we are doing in that space. Of course, our focus on the community was largely on supporting the hospitals nearby with whatever they needed, and skill development, already we are working with many colleges, and of course we are partnering with the government of Tamil Nadu also to be a site or a location with which we will work with them to develop the skill of the people. Yeah. Of course, we are now also moving into plantation. We are working with the Corporation of Chennai to plant. This year we have targeted to plant 10,000 trees. 1,000 trees we have already completed. Results. Coming to of course, we were selected as one of the top 50 companies, the Super 50 companies 2007 for Forbes India. Various recognition from the customers. Most recently, we got certification by Daimler India in the Q Prime. We are one of the first set of suppliers. On the business side, COVID had an impact. There's a reduction in the commercial vehicle because of the volume reduction. So we in Sundaram Clayton, when we moved to WAPCO, we were in the range of 450 crores. So now we are in the range of about close to some 3,000 crores. We will soon reach. And of course, in terms of shareholders, almost 40 times. The share price was 196 rupees. Today it's about 9,300 rupees. So people who invested on our business would have really, they also must have got their return. One biggest learning I have is the adaptability to changing situation, because world is very rapidly changing in multiple areas. Customer demands, the ecosystem, new technologies, digitalization, and the ES in so many things. So the need to we need to adapt to those changes. And then yesterday also, Mr. Baron was saying about the need to the new TQM. We are also seriously looking at many areas. How do we really adapt the earlier thing to suit the digital situation? So some of the presentation which Mr. Karan Deshmukh presented was very thought-provoking for me personally. So we have to really evolve in every area. So with this learning, I would like to thank all of you for patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was quite interesting, the tasting of the journey right from the Sundaram Clayton days and to current ZF. I think two messages from the TQM perspective, I think everyone would have noted that he made a statement that strong daily management is the requirement for even the PD to succeed. And the managing point, checking point explanation was also very interesting. The accountability and super accountability. And I would like to mention here, when the brakes division of Sundaram Clayton became part of WAPCO, the global leadership acknowledged the culture and practice of WAPCO India as unique, which came from Sundaram Clayton's TQM journey. And Mr. Kaniappan was the custodian of this culture and practices, which top management of WAPCO preferred to maintain in India. And I hope that is again continuing with ZF. So this is a true transformation of an Indian company to global standards, and the top management of a multinational company wanting to maintain it. In this regard, Mr. Kaniappan's role is very significant, and let us congratulate him for getting the Harsha Award yesterday.